These three teams are so consistent on this next era map as opposed to moving straight to the confines of MBR, looking to go for the hunt. Time turn is going to be pulled out very early on by Jokers. Putra does not have the right gun. Mag 10 up against the Mini Uzi, but he does have the backup here with the Mag 7. Gade gets the double tag on him. Jokers moves away, still trying to defend himself, and there's no flank around. And Gade does not get the backup. Instead, Putra and Kram gets knocked down. What's happening? Onyx, they had the advantage, and MBR turns the tables on them.
Yeah, and today he's just trapped over here. He's been trying to land those jump shots since quite a while, but he's been rather unsuccessful. And now there's backup from MBR. They're about to push him from both the sides, and he needs to hold his ground. That Max 7 can definitely help him stay alive if they both rush him inside, but not at the same time. He doesn't even get a chance to isolate those gunfights.
That was a unfortunately bad play.
To get outside and third partying over here. Esports are still far away, but a much bigger, more dangerous threat is approaching, and that's going to be Bigatron by Vitality. They are incoming here, and they need to get this fight done quickly, otherwise they'll be thirded very soon. Boom, lovely shot at close range, but it's not gonna help him out. MBR and Bigatron make quick work of Onyx.
Yeah, Onyx came back in there for the rechell way too quick. MBR managed to get the best of them, and Bigatron by Vitality showing up in the worst timing possible for Onyx. Onyx, the first team to get kicked out, but this compound is still gonna be extremely messy. Kyong, Diggs catching up in Fancy. Fancy gets knocked down to the ground. Bara's out as well, and Bigatron by Vitality, just like that, picking up the pace. Esports Putrajaya right in front of them, and perhaps the Malaysians might have a tad bit of an advantage here, but Sibang spots them out already. The first victim's going to be Raja. Koja with a follow-up on the Car 98 after that Riptide rhythm. And this is Bigatron on a roll, spotting out player after player and just not skipping a beat with the knockdowns.
Oh yeah, absolutely not skipping a beat. EVOS Divine, the team that is still yet to get a booyah. The team that is still responsible for proving that they can get the placements as well also comes in here, but they get nothing. Bigatron.
Great play by the guy, and obviously started off the play here for MBR on a very high rhythm. 4 eliminations in his name already, and it looks like things are about to get messy once again. Magna right in front of EVOS, but right behind EVOS is Bigatron. Kyong going in for the chase. Aim God already half of his HP chipped away, and that was an easy takedown. The time turner could not do much, and EVOS, on the other hand, are not going to be pausing their stride at all. They understand that they definitely want to move on in and find these eliminations, but Magna right in front of them might just be the bait that they get tempted with, and Bigatron by Vitality might be able to take advantage of this situation as Magna now under heavy pressure. Vamos drives into the compound as well.
I don't know if Vamos are fully aware about the 4-party situation over here, because right now they're just crashing into Magna Esports compound, not fully realizing that there are other teams who could also threaten their entry. Now that they've lost one player to Bigatron, they will finally realize what kind of trap they've stepped into, but that's too late. June has already bit the dust. Meanwhile, Bigatron are indiscriminate who they shoot at. Whether it's Magna Esports or whether it's Vamos, they do not care. They will shoot at anything that moves, and now they go inverging into the trailer. Oh my goodness. It's actually so surprising that Magna Esports have been able to repel away the rush from Bigatron, but those nades could be massive problems. They get blocked by the ghoul walls, but here they go, finally!
Quadra!
If one nade doesn't work, you toss in a couple more. Surely one of them will do the job.
What a nade that was! Magna stood no chance whatsoever. Diggs with a big brain play. 3 grenades back to back to back. One got them down to half HP. The other one obliterated them. The third one was just a tad bit of overkill. But holy hell, from being annihilated, from recovering and getting 4 eliminations out of that compound instead. Bigatron by Vitality having a fantastic run here. You might just get your prediction on point if they can continue this one, Crips.
Yeah, and I'm more surprised by the fact that neither Vamos Esports nor Twisted Minds, none of them could do anything. Meanwhile, Twisted Minds have their hands full over here, with Secret WAG looking to invade this house. Couple of nades being thrown upstairs, but the glue walls are blocking the nades once again. I said that exact same thing a couple of seconds ago before Teeks managed to get that entire squad wipe, but here they go, in with their shotguns, no longer just throwing utilities, they go up close and personal against Twisted Minds and eliminate them.
Whew. What a hot lobby we've got in here. Now Buriram spotting Fancy out in the open. It's a 3v1 unfair fight. The rest of the MBR players not there to save him. Baras watching this action from afar. Does he want to take a couple of shots? Answer is going to be no. MBR split on the battlefield and they need to they need to find some sort of a way to gather up before Buriram continues this hunt. And thankfully, Bara will be able to get away, but the same cannot be said there for Jokers.
Yeah, unfortunately, Buriram Esports, they've got this entire island in their control. However, I must point out the terror that Bigetron are on right now because they just wiped the floor with a team a couple of seconds ago and then they started shooting down the members of Vamos as well. And now that they're fighting against Falcons, it seems like they have absolutely no trouble with that whatsoever. Yeah. Kojak kinda isolated. On fire and Limit X7 both have angles on him, and that's a great knock acquired by Falcons once again. LP, too tiny of a chunk of flesh. They need something meatier to sink their teeth into. Maybe Seepen could be a lucrative target for MBR. He was the one responsible for getting most of their team under the ground, and of course, a little bit of action from Buriram as well. But finally, Seepen gets put under, and that is the end of Bigetron.
Two MBR players right outside. And a jump pad will be used to reposition players. But gets shot down. And it looks like there will be no picking here. Oh no. Man, he was close enough to the rest of the team members.
They will end up locking horns.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Situan, beautiful snipe from afar. Kenshin taken out of the equation. Esports Putrajaya under a lot of heavy pressure here. Buriram on the other hand, stuck in a little spot here, shot after shot by the Falcon players. The double snipe setup, Porpor and Limit X7, pelting them with the AWM bullets. Car 98 in their hands as well. And now Esports Putrajaya up against PE, LBT. Here comes Bedep. The glue wall melters are all laid out already. Raja is going to be the first victim to get taken down. Narrow, flanking around from the right-hand side alongside Bedep. Mikacha, left-hand side. You got to watch out for this LBT with the M5.
Wow.
He takes the final shot, and PE Sports cleans up Esports Putrajaya just like that. Clean execution of that aggressive rush.
Yeah, they didn't lose a single.
From Secret WAG just backing away from the window.
There you go.
Now, the car straight to the chest. PLS1 down on the ground. Easy pickup after barricading the window with the glue walls.
And now
And
both
Secret
the teams...
WAG still has a problem here because Falcons are just waiting to feast on them.
Yeah, oh my god, wait. WAG are actually getting downstairs to force this fight against Falcons? Falcons don't want to take this fight. All three of them go upstairs with just Pina being on the staircase. He also joins them up, but Nan follows them up. Limit X7 sniping one, and another goes down as well. T-Koi taken down. Instant rest comes through, but it's all up to Hong, who will have to somehow go for the mass revives over here. I don't know if he can do it. He might just be able to force the fight against Porpor, but both these teams are starting to pick up their players now. It's gone from a 1v1 to a 2v2 again.
Oh, the grenade about to be tossed out. Porpor, get out of there, man. Inhaler in just the nick of time. PE Sports out of the equation. All thanks to MBR as well as Buriram. Tag team in. Limit X7 on the ground. No pickup for him. Porpor has to abandon project alongside Pina that he picked up earlier. But at least that's one save there thanks to Porpor for the side of Falcons.
Yeah, both the teams end up clashing horns, but both of them end up in worse situations. Falcons lose 2, Secret WAG lose 1, and now MBR might just lose all of them. It's a 3v4 battle against Buriram, but both the teams trying to hold their ground. MBR have completely barricaded this house with a bunch of glue walls, but oh my god, what on earth does Pina just pull off? A triple elimination to completely destroy Secret WAG.
How is that even possible? And now Falcons just in hot soup. Pina just under pressure because of Moshi. Dragon Freeze tossed out towards Pina, and the guy is recovering absolutely fine. Lightning Zone tapering off as well. And therefore, Falcons don't have to worry about the situation all that too much. Glue Wall Melter tossed up against Moshi, but barely reaching his defenses. Close enough, though. The edge of the Glue Wall Melter does manage to break down Moshi's double glue wall. Rifaela down at the bottom. Pina looking to prevent Buriram from walking away with this booyah, but all alone, can he do it? And MBR, on the other hand, looking for a solid booyah here for themselves. After just surviving with placement points, they once again get into the final circle. A valiant effort for a team that is for the first time on the Southeast Asian stage. Pina with the M590. Fancy down. Pina, make sure he gets the confirmation as well. Jonah finds Jokers. Pina still alive, and it's a 4 1v1. Falcon, there's no way in hell this happened for them.
Oh my god, regardless of what Peanut does, Buridom will still win the Booyah. And your prediction is right once again, AJ. Buridom, the 3-time world champions, once again prove they can dominate in Solana.
And let's see if or not they can do exactly that. I'm very excited to see exactly what kind of a momentum Bigatron by Vite particular time. WAT, the final player, still not spotted out there just yet. I wonder exactly where he is. Probably trying to play the flank PLS1. Wangam with the Woodpecker looking for Ekal. Will miss all of his shots, but that will still keep Ekal right behind. Oh. Here comes down 7, driving straight in to knock Coach Shield down. A beautiful play by Secret WAG. They just pull a little bit of the advantage to their side.
Yeah, it's a quick flank, and there you go. They've got 3 eliminations instantly. Aim God, the one person from EVOS who was away from the rest of his team, does manage to revive 2 of his players. But now we've got another battle brewing up in the archway. You've got MBR, who are just about to go up against Falcons. On Fire's been spotted, and he also spots 2 players in return, so he will give that information to Pina. But by the time they look at Pina, On Fire will confirm the elimination onto Jokers. That's an instant opening for Falcons. On Fire does lose his life. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Jokers will be brought back, but oh no, Pina getting taken down was not on my bingo card. That's the thing that MBR needed to make that recovery.
Again, you keep throwing MBR into sticky situations like these, and they are just rising up to the top like oil and water. You just can't keep them down at this point of time. Sibank finding Esports Putrajaya's Kenshin from afar. The battle between Bigatron by Vitality as well as Malaysia's Esports Putrajaya now in full flow, but Twisted Minds looking to play third party in this situation as they quickly swoop on in. Shots from afar. AC80 finding the connection with Kyong, but a good glue wall will be pulled up. Diamond flanking around from the left-hand side. Bigatron by Vitality with PE Sports towards their right as well. Might not be able to get out of this sticky situation.
I don't think they want to get out of that situation because now even Vamos Esports is coming in, and this would be basically Bigatron being locked into this area for the next few minutes. Yes, they have lost a player, but I think Twisted Minds and Magna Esports Club can take care of each other if they face against each other in the Delta Square region. And yeah, sure, Vamos Esports is on the way back, but Esports probably will not be able to cross that river to get Deeks. Oh my god, now this battle is in full swing. Alif gets his ankles broken by the bus as he uses that dash to climb up the staircase, exposing Alif, both fighting each other. But that fight is not going anywhere. Both these teams are using so many moves, but the jump and the pass, these guys have managed to get the first 2 knocks. Magna Sports Club on the verge of elimination. Winzy running around that entire Time Turner using the jumping to his advantage, but all that movement still doesn't save him. He gets 1 knock onto Exposy, and even that doesn't do much. Twisted Minds get all their players back.
And through all of that chaos, Bigatron by Vitality ran out of gas, the first team to get eliminated from the Solara lobby. After a phenomenal performance through the eliminations in that Purgatory map that we just saw conclude earlier on, they just could not make their way through towards that final circle yet again. But this time, barely any eliminations on their side. I think they managed to get 2 for themselves before getting knocked out. Now, the same might happen here for Onyx as well. Earlier was a rough game for them. Now up against Vamos from the side of Malaysia. It's going to be the split blitz that does not find the full connection, but Poom finds Suez on the flank here. Great positioning from the guy. Now PE Sports up against Magna. The action just does not stop in Solara.
Oh my god, Vedep. He could be the guy that turns this fight around. Nade thrown in towards him, but Alif doesn't get much done. He has to make sure his back is secure. They've got access to the vending machine as well, so Magna Esports Club can recover, but so can Bidep. PE Esports back at full strength. It's once again a 4v4, but the other players from PE Esports probably might not land in the same exact spot. Magna Esports Club, they are kind of separated from each other. Getbu and Alif on one end of this area, the other 2 players on the northern side of Windmill, and this could be dangerous because now Vamos Esports have a bounty on them, onto Virus. Winzy also escaping from the region, rather unharmed, but Nero is hot on his heels and finally sprays him down. But wait, Nero committed in that process. He ends up relinquishing his life to Diamond.
Yeah, I mean, Diamond, great positioning for the guy. High ground advantage as well as the broken Car 98 in his hands. Easy, quick shot Takes Narrow down, and PE Sports will have to play recovery here. LBT about to be caught out. The best. Ooh, does not go out for the full check around the corner. That's going to allow LBT to survive. But the vending machine on the opposite side of where LBT is sitting down at this point of time, with Twisted Minds right between them, as well as Magna. It looks like Magna's not going to get very far away. Alif tried to quick finger that vending machine for the revival, but will fail, unfortunately, and Twisted Minds will bring Magna's run to an end.
He was so close to the vending machine. Maybe a glue wall, or maybe just a second before, if he was able to get there, he probably would have been able to save his team. But Magna Esports as well as Bigatron, first two teams to bite the dust in this game. Nice shot, but hold on. It's not even the boss who gets that elimination. Finally, even though Diamond managed to land that shot and the knock, the point goes to the respective player who took that risk to get inside that compound and go up close. Mikasa gets blown out in the open by that Riptide Rhythm, forced to once again reunite with Raja. Now both these players are on the same side of the wall. Twisted Minds are flanking them from the south, and I think so Esports Putrajaya want to get that team into their crossfires. There you go, that's exactly the opening Raja was looking for. Charge Buster doing well, confirms the elimination, but Diamond avenges his fallen teammate. Diamond and Exposé both trying to go for the sprays, or the glue wall saves his life for the time being. Can he be spared? Diamond activates the self points and tried to get away from here, but Mikasa already chasing him down. He's got him in the tracks. Oh, how is he still alive? No, he's let Diamond get away. But he can't close in the distance. If Diamond gets near Exposé, then it will be impossible to chase him.
Mikacha with the biggest ball drop of the century there. And a fantastic opportunity to really cripple the players on the side of Twisted Minds. But it's all right. We'll catch up with them in a little bit as the rest of his team continues to get wrecked by Twisted Minds. Esports Putrajaya might just have their run ended right there. Secret WAG, on the other hand, trying to tackle the boys on the side of MBR. Electrotherapy fully connected already, but as you can see, MBR has fully barricaded this compound, locking themselves in with those glue walls. And it looks like that's going to leave WAG outside for the picking as EVOS now appears in the compound as well. They've got the high ground advantage, but Secret WAG has already made that entrance in. Refire Lati Kui trying to run straight into his opponents, will find no knock, but instead gets knocked down onto the ground. No save for the rest of his players just yet. Wang Am now knocked down to the ground as well. But EVOS has arrived. Can you really wrap this up quickly? As EVOS now tries to interfere, Secret WAG as well as MBR in deep trouble as PE Sports makes the exit.
Oh my god, even MBR falls. EVOS gets that final nail in the coffin, and Faiz now gets the knock onto PLS1 as well. Nan somehow trying to get inside the car. He runs right into his opponents and straight through their bodies. Over the hill. Can he ride off into the sunset? Not just yet. His car is blown up, but the hope is still alive. Faiz is still looking for him, but Nan has broken his ankles. Cut lines of sight. And now he gets onto the zip rail, but he gets sniped. Lovely shot by Faiz. And that's a perfect third party by EVOS Divine.
A beautiful, beautiful play here by EVOS Divine. And that all started off with the MBR barricading WAG outside their compound. WAG just breaking all of those glue walls, and all of those gunshots made it impossible for them to hear EVOS taking some shots at them as well from afar. And EVOS obviously wasted no time whatsoever, cutting down the distance, running into the house, being the perfect third party. And unfortunately, we didn't see how PE Sports made the exit from the lobby, but we definitely saw how MBR as well as Secret WAG say bye-bye. All thanks to EVOS. No Russia, no problem at this point of time. And Twisted Minds, we were talking about how they had an unfortunate early exit from the Purgatory lobby. This is a fantastic recovery for the squad. 11 eliminations so early on, and it looks like the Bass has an opportunity to take Peter down, and he does exactly that with the help of Diamond with the Car 98.
It's a complete flip of the script. The teams that were doing really well in the previous game are the first ones to leave this Solara match. Bigatron led the pack by a mile, and now they're the first team to get eliminated. Meanwhile, Twisted Minds struggling in Purgatory, they make that massive comeback in Solara. So let's see if this day is full of even more surprises like this. Will we get to see more scripts being flipped? Oh my god! Putra, I think he just flipped his entire phone to get that shot. Lovely connection. Day also goes down, but I think Putra should be able to bring him back up. just using his heal pistol also a little bit more. No, Gray goes down to the zone again after he was picked up. Yeah, they're gonna have to work a little bit harder. They're gonna have to shoot him a little bit more with that heal pistol so that he can make it in. However, with the heal rune deployed, I think Gray should be fine now. And the zone is not that far, so he's good. They recovered from the losses, but do they know that June from Vamos Esports is still behind them? Now they know. He takes down Crime.
Yeah, the answer was just definitely no, right? Nobody suspected June to be right behind. Crime down on the ground. Now, boom, stealth bites activated already. Looking to reposition, but I guess not to flank around the Vamos player, but just to get into a safer spot. Looking for the circle. Crime on the ground. June once again from afar. VSK straight to the head. Vamos will take whatever they can get, but June also giving away his position will not be able to get out of that spot as everybody will be looking for revenge. Buriram up against Falcons on the other hand. Is this where Falcons falls? Well, it starts off with Limit down on his knees, cannot recover. The rest of the players on the side of Falcons, or I have to say players, singular, trying to get away, and it's Paw once again. Can he get to the vending machine? Not too far away. Moshi is already with the pre-aim, and the time is just too beautiful. Moshi's right back in it, and unfortunately Paw does not stand the chance to shine this time round.
Paul walks straight into Moshi's crosshairs. He knew exactly where Buriram would be. And now that the number one team is out, it's open season for Buriram. And they will be able to paint this entire ground crimson with the blood of their opponents. Their next target, Twisted Minds, right around the corner. And look at the spread of Buriram Esports. They got three players in three different directions. And it's a pretty good spread which they can flank Twisted Minds. They're getting shot from every direction now, closing in the distance with the glue wall melters. And actually, can this be done? Because Twisted Minds have their backs against the wall. The nades go flying in. The glue wall melters also making their lives a little bit more difficult. Look at them use Moshio exposed, but it doesn't bother him even in the slightest. Wasana dives right inside, gets the shot onto Exposi, but no knock just yet. Wasana going for a flank yet again from the other side, with Getna following up close behind. And they're chasing down Exposi to the ends of the earth. Confirmation on him as well. 3v4 now, AJ, with Jump in trouble. He's trying to isolate these fights, but he's just simply not getting anything. Buriram are hunting them down like a pack of wolves, and you are just never gonna get that 1v1 at all. Diamond begging for his life, alive for the next few seconds. Will Moshi finally put him 6 feet under? Can he dig him a shallow grave? Because Buriram don't have time to dig 6 feet.
Yeah, Jonah kicked some butt in that battle, walking away with 2 eliminations off of his M82B. Yes, you can pull out those glue walls, but you cannot get away from Captain Jonah, especially when you've been marked up already. Now, Buriram going in there for the back-to-back booyah. Can they be prevented? An opportunity here for the Indonesians, EVOS as well as Onyx. Now, Jonah, good jump right on top of the roof, but Wasana does not make it through as Boom goes Boom with the AWM, dropping the guy down. Moshi and Getna will hold back. Shots there. What in the world was Buriram thinking? Obviously, they were not going to be able to make that jump. Moshi up top. Crime does manage to get the knock, but Jonah there. Double glue wall. Now on the prone, looking for the pickup onto Moshi as well. This is a crucial pickup. Buriram now left only with 2 players.
Oh my goodness, this could be quite overwhelming for Buriram. And they get found. Onik and EVOS work together to take down Moshi and Joanna. And Buriram will not get their double back-to-back booyah just yet.
I mean, that was an unfortunate rotation there for the players on the side of Buriram. Obviously, you want to get that vantage point up on top. And after you saw Getna get knocked down to the ground, the sign should have been, do not make the jump. And a unfortunate mistake. Whoever who made that call made the wrong call. And that brought a unfortunate end to Buriram's run here on the Salara map. And now Indonesia stands a strong chance of walking away with the booyah unless a super crazy miracle happens for Malaysia through Mikacha. Esports Putrajaya just waiting for an opportunity. Aim God, beautiful headshot there onto Poom. And the biggest problem in their sides here, the biggest problem on the side of Onyx has been taken down early. EVOS pretty much has guaranteed themselves the booyah on the Salara map.
Unless Crime can do something about it. No, he cannot! Mikasa finally shows himself and takes down Crime, stealing that point away from EVOS Divine. And the one team that's been struggling to get a booyah so far will finally put their first booyah on the board. EVOS Divine coming through with the win. It has to be in Bermuda, so this could be the map that will make or break the esports run in the FFWS SEA 2026 fall. Of course, their bundle in the game is a testament to their skill and a reward for all their efforts.
In a tough little spot here, 3v1 setup. Tuan tagged up twice. Great double glue wall for the guy to make that rotation.
Yeah, I really thought he's gonna get taken down as he tries to cross the road. And that's why they ask you to look both ways before you cross the street, kids. You do not want to end up getting caught. DPP used, both the players spot each other. It's like staring at each other, staring daggers. But still, it's gonna be up to Badab. Somehow, he tries to make that flank work, but he gets discouraged because of the guy in the window shooting him down. Nero also almost loses his life, but it's the first person to fall. That's June. Can he be picked up? It's rather unlikely. Zues going towards him, but Sichuan confirms that elimination. And the Axel, he was the one responsible for keeping Nero at bay, but now he's got bigger fish to fry. He's getting taken down by Bedep, and Vamos Esports, luckily they're right next to the vending machine, so they can buy June back, but it is still big problems for them.
Yeah, Zues, the savior of the squad there on that last-minute revival. So even if it ends right here, right now for the squad, he still will stand a second chance on that recovery. Now, Buriram spotting out EVOS as well as Esports Putrajaya. The early skirmish did see Esports Putrajaya pick up a quick point here. Aim got a sliver of health left on him as Buriram now goes in for the charge. Esports Putrajaya with the potential to flank around Buriram, punish Buriram, allowing EVOS to maybe walk away with the victory here. As I say that, Mikata finds one. Moshi down on the ground. It is Esports Putrajaya putting in the hurt onto Buriram, giving EVOS now a solid chance to take Buriram out of the lobby. But Moshi revived by Wasada, and that's going to be the insurance policy for Buriram for the time being.
Oh my god, Buriram have just flipped the script. Instant buyback onto Moshi. Helps him get, and Getna also gets that knock. Esports Putrajaya were leading by a mile, and now all of a sudden they've got their backs against the wall.
Oh
and
my
that's
lord.
what it's like to fight against Buriram Esports. You see, even EVOS Divine were trying to get a piece of the spy, but they will be promptly sent back.
Yeah.
You cannot mess.
By Wasana, they just thought there's nothing we can lose in this battle. Let's just go all out. And looks like when Buriram goes all out, taking on two teams at the same time is no sweat for them whatsoever. And EVOS just did not want to deal with that situation. And Esports Putrajaya, they were smiling year to year when initially putting on the pressure onto Buriram, but they will get taken out of the lobby prematurely this time round. MPR up against Twisted Minds. Jump is going to get caught out, but he takes down the defenses only to allow Jump to catch him with a Mag 7. A unfortunate play there, but Fancy is going to be instantly revived by his team.
Joker holding his ground against the members of Twisted Minds right next to him. And this actually might just give P Esports a chance to get out of here. Their one player is still near the double balcony house, but he has not been able to get away yet. And as soon as I say that, Bedap takes to the skies, uses the mini launch pad to get away from here. But he will have to lick his wounds and find another vending machine because this one is inaccessible. MBR recover all their players back. Bedap almost made it across, but Rafaela has his number. Jump, on the other hand, takes down Bara, and that's a confirmation as well.
Oh my.
Hold on though, Jump will get his head blown off in return. Good trades from both Twisted Minds as well as MBR. Both these teams back at a 3v3, and Joker wants to make it a 3v4 by accident on vending machine, and he should be able to do so.
Joker's now on the approach. MBR, perfect play this time around. The best is going to get caught out, and a double team. Fancy with the flank around the left, and we'll get it with the charge buster. The best taken out of the equation there. Perfectly done.
But it seems like Virus knows he's outnumbered over here, so he's better not gonna take that fight. He tries to make that crossing, and Tikoi has his number. Virus has no choice but to fight back. He's bleeding away to the zone, and there you go. Tikoi finally puts him out of his misery.
As Secret WAG said, I smell a rat. Sent out the UAV, got the information. Easy play there. Easy elimination. PG players, instead of just running away in that situation. P Esports up against Jump here. Twisted Mind, this is not their final player. They should be able to recover even though they lose Jump in this sequence. And Rafaela on the opposite side. P Esports literally chasing a free point towards the MBR players. There's nobody to revive here, so Jump was just looking to save himself. Rafaela will find C2-1. C2-1 takes Jump out of the equation. Bass brings him back in. Twisted Minds on that recovery once again. And now a full-blown battle between MBR and PE.
Esports had to escape from the entire Cape Town region. And now there's no running back. Over here in Sentosa Island, LBT will finally go down, surrounded and overwhelmed by MBR.
Yeah.
And MBR have done pretty well for themselves this time, AJ. Look at that, 12 eliminations on them already.
I mean, MBR is just a different beast today. Onic up against Falcons. Oh, they're not going to be able to save Pina. Great play there by Crime. Now Mini Uzi looking for On Fire. Good glue wall by On Fire to protect himself. M590 in hand, but he just could not use it, could not do anything in that situation. Crime with a sliver of hell. Gets away in time. Limit could not punish, but the follow-up is solid there by Porpor. Where the hell is Porpor even? As he managed to find that angle to take the player out of the equation. Now Falcons clearly in the driver's seat once again on that battle. Bigatron by Vitality up against EVOS. A civil war for Indonesia.
Team God jumps that fence. Oh my god, that's a bold jump. But he's getting surrounded by Bigatron now. Trying to get away from the other side. Gets into the house, but Dix clips his wings as soon as he makes that jump. The rest of EVOS Divine have promptly disengaged from this battle. They do not want to pick up a fight over here, so Bigatron are the winners for the time being.
EVOS Divine with Rasia's so-called retirement. There was some rumors flying around there. Coach Manet left the squad. Their approach. Can they get there on time? Tikui right in front. Aim God. The shots are there. Aim God does manage to spray 9-7 out of the vehicle. And here comes PLS1 with the M82B. Shot is on point. PLS1 finds Coach Hill. Aim God takes Tikui out of the equation. And it's now Aim God with the Mag 10, but a sliver of health left on him. Wang Armor has got the advantage, and the Mag 7 to the back as Aim God tries to get away. EVOS thought they were the ones who had the ambush perfected, but in secret WAG showing them that it's just not going to be enough to stop them.
EVOS Divine did not send their entire force into this fight, but they deal with all the invaders pretty well. Oh, poor Diamond. He is kind of trapped here, isn't he? Got 3 above the hill, 1 below. There's really no escaping, so Diamond will have to force his hand unless he's got some backup. Nope. Before he can even get the backup, June will put him down. Yuan now looking to change the tides of this battle as Vamos Esports are flipping the script against Twisted Minds. Nice shot by Axel. Takes down jump. Even Diamond bites the dust, and it's all up to the boss. He has been overwhelmed by Zues. Vamos Esports making quick work of this fight.
That was just a Diamond in a rough spot out there. Unfortunate for him. Jump did try to be the superhero in that situation to save his buddy, but just faltered. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too late. Now Onyx dismantling Falcons, one player after the other. Limit now caught in a tight little spot. Put through a good dodge there with the M590. Calls for a little bit of a backup as well. It's a 2v1 up against a heavily barricaded Limit. Limit does manage to find a little bit of a breather there with a save from Porpor, but Poom is the secret on the side of Onyx. Poom puts down Porpor. The rest of the players on the side of Falcons will falter, taken out prematurely in this lobby. And I think I called it out perfectly fine. It was Falcons just popping off in week 1. In week 2, on the other hand, it's just not the best version of themselves, which is just classic Falcons.
Oh my god. How many people are members of Onyx Esports also falling victim? So many players turning into a PvE game over here. It's not even a PvP anymore.
Oh my god!
Look at Zues and Yuan. Lovely triple elimination from Vamos Esports. Dealing with the invaders so bloody well. And they rule this side of the hill.
Yeah, what's up with my manifestations today, man? I just said earlier on before we started off this game, teams like PE, teams like Vamos, who haven't been performing just yet, have the potential to rise up. And because that's just how Southeast Asia's lobbies have been all this while. But a big fight up against MBR.
It's the end game. Every team seems to have their position. Oh no, Kosil. He was trying to get inside the zone, but Maka Esports will find him. And the last player also taken down. That's the end of EVOS Divine.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving these big boys get taken down one after the other because it's all... Two Malaysian squads need to move as well. But they are all waiting to see what Bigatron does first. And Bigatron makes the decision to move straight towards Magna. Instead of deal with Vamos, this could have just been the better idea. Double Riptide Rhythm breaking down their defenses, but there's a boulder in the way, and Magna will survive that. Pulls out the time turner as well. No shots can reach them, but Bigatron getting closer and closer. Dix with the M590, cannot go in for the ambush just yet. Virus with the VSK knocks down Kyung. Here comes the flank. Ale finds Koja. A sliver of health, and Sibang will not get picked up. It's all up to Dix and Koja right now. Outside the circle. Ale finds Sibang. Koja out, and it looks like Bigatron by Vitality with one final survivor won't survive Magna and Vamos.
Magna Esports hold off against the Bigatron. These guys have dealt with some of the biggest teams, but PE Esports capitalize on that opportunity. Look at Sichuan and Nero raining down the bullets and confirming all their eliminations. It's up to Virus in a nearly impossible 1v4. And PE Esports finally get their booyah. They've been hanging. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's jump into the deserty dunes of Kalahari. I really want some fast chases. Last time I casted a game of Kalahari in this tournament, I like rolling the dice. If they do like taking these kind of gamblish fights, I hope that the dice rolls in their favor. June walks right inside that door, but he gets that glue wall up, hoping to isolate those fights. Not gonna happen. Breaks LBT's ankles by jumping around the other side and gets that confirmation as well. Vamos off to a flying start. They know that the remaining members of PE Sports are all huddled inside that same tiny room, but they can't seem to find a way inside just yet. They better find their way in quickly, otherwise Onyx Esports will be able to walk away with a bunch of other eliminations and cause some trouble.
The Onyx Olympus, they're gonna be waiting for the perfect opportunity to come in, and Zuez is looking for his own as well, finds the moment on an arrow. And still, Team Vamos doing an exceptional job at surviving and even finds a couple of knocks onto Onyx Olympus, who decides to butt in, but it's not their business here. And Jun will send that message. A very strong one indeed. 4 points for BRU in the lobby. Command post is always going to be their stronghold. Whereas for Evil's Divine, they're gonna book it out of there. Basically split in half. Fires will be left on top of the mountain around shrines. The BTR should be able to pick him off as Evil's Divine will scramble into the wild, but they've already gotten the members out of here. And let's see how much damage Fires can deal. Fires a knock on the Zebang, but needs a confirmation that it's not going to be arriving anytime soon. Kyong is already there right in front of him, but Zebang actually bled out. I think Fires might have the Raphael with them. That's going to be a consolation prize for Evils.
Yeah, at least they avenge their fallen teammate. Seabank bought back. Was just trying to escape from one team, only to run into Bigotron once again. This time, however, Buridam Esports used them easily. So, no cigar for them just yet. Meanwhile, back in Bayfront, you've got Falcons fighting off against Putra, who once again finds himself on the receiving end of Limit X7 Strogon. They're the first team to go out of this fight, but Boom is kind of trapped over here. Raja spraying him down, Ryu from above hoping to isolate him, and there's no escape.
That is particularly odd for Onyx. Axel also picked up Crime off screen. So the Malaysian team is finding members of Onyx Olympus left, right, and center. And Gade, yeah, he's out.
No!
So weird that Onyx Olympus displayed Kalahari in this manner. And as an import, first ever import in an Indonesian team, but being spread out like that on Kalahari is a death sentence. And Onyx Olympus pays for it. Whereas for Secret WAG, now they gain their 5th point and a bit of possession near the western side of Refinery.
It's very far away from each other, leaving them absolutely nothing to provide backup. But speaking of backup, it's the boss. He's tied in with his teammate with that electrotherapy, and he's trying to win the fight against Bigotron. Nice shot by Koja, but instantly the boss avenges him. Oh, Koja, once again, lovely shot onto Exposi. He might just be able to turn the tides of this battle over here, unless Jump has something to say about it. He's booking it for the vending machine, but it's been capped by Kyong.
Good stuff there for BTR, really covering all of the point of interest there. But even for Falcons, they actually are running into a bit of a roadblock, and that roadblock comes in an uncanny form of Team Vamos on fire, get picked back up. Limit now is going to face some challenge. Around the corner, Limit trying to prone and heal, but Zuez hits him with the pan. Vamos have the chance to overpower them. Zuez has plenty of information. Riptide Riddle come in, Pina exposed, Axel basically misdirecting the members of Falcons.
Yeah, and he's going for a massive flank on the other side, but unfortunately Falcons also have the same idea. On Fire makes it to the vending machine even though Zuez was guarding it, so he can get the res once again. Yes, On Fire will eventually go down to Zuez, but he's done his job. So Falcons back at 3 members. That being said though, it's still advantage for Vamos Esports, but the moment I say that, Pina equalizes the situation, gets the knock onto Zuez. Porpor is able to once again buy On Fire back. And now, it's Falcons who've got the numbers advantage. Axel trying to force that SMG battle against Pina, but Pina's got superior movement. Not for long, as Axel finally gets the better of him.
Again, the stand out with the Dinoculus just southeast of the maze, whereas for BRU, they're gonna be under some pressure from Esports Putrajaya with Ryu leading the charge. Raja with the nade cooked up. The bounce, not good enough, thanks to the glue wall put out by BRU. But the retirement from behind actually takes it out at Kenshin, catching Asana on the wayside.
Mikasa now coming in to finish off what Kenshin started. Raja diving in with that Max 7, getting both Ketna as well as Wasana. They've dealt with the BRU threat for the head in this car. With June and the Axel crossing on foot, that's easy pickings for Pina.
Wait a minute, watch your back, Jun! Not able to escape On Fire, unfortunately. Can Axel find a way to build his teammates up? That's impossible. Peanut down to 8.
Probably going towards the Bayfront vending machine, hoping to get the res onto his teammates, but it's being guarded. Porpor gets the knock onto Axel, and now Vamos Esports are just turning On Fire into a 1v2 situation. They're forcing this battle against him, and they're actually winning it as well. Juan finally gets that knock. Porpor does get the revenge, takes down June as well as Juan. Lovely confirmation by Falcons, and it's all up to Zeus. Can he get the res onto Juan before anyone else comes in? 7 succumbs to the blue zone.
Very rough game for Falcons. Malaysian teams were their undoing. Deeks finds a good one on the Kenshin. Route to the window. Juan blast Raja in the face. That's not part of the plan if you're EP. Where did Team Vamos come from? As EP now have plenty of threats to deal with. June through the glue wall. They're not making it easy. Ryu gets taken down. And Juan is the one that gets that knockdown. Team Vamos continuously trying to blitz through whoever they see. That is Kenshin. Taken up by Zeus from the corner. What was that? Zeus with 7 and Vamos with 18 eliminations.
And I was just saying that Esports were about to have a good game, but they get shut down by Vamos Esports promptly. Twisted Minds doing the same with Buriram Esports, already taking down Getna and Wasana. It's all up to just one player now to get away from this spot. Oh, Joanna trying to go around the other side of this door. He's really hoping that he can... And I was just saying that Esports were about to have a good game, but they get shut down by Vamos Esports promptly. Twisted Minds doing the same with Buriram Esports, already taking down Getna and Wasana. Lovely angles onto Eva's Divine down there. But there's bigger problems. There is another team right on top of them. Hold on though, Buriram Esports go down. That is a rather early exit for the 3-time world champs. But MBR also lose a player, even though they thought they were safe at the bottom of this hill. Take a look at that. Secret WAG taking the highest possible point against Bikitron. Nan and PLS1 both playing in tandem. Tikoi delivering that death blow against Koja. Nan spraying down Kyong. Secret WAG are winning this battle against Bikitron. And it's just one player on the high ground that Bikitron is using as their last lifeline. Deeks manages to get towards the vending machine room and reses Koja, but that's all there is to Bikitron. Just these two.
Members, Brazil's Divine, they're gonna go in for the kill. And they might have a very good chance in doing so. Team Vamos can let this happen on the wayside because this is theirs to lose, where everyone else is just trying to fight for scraps. Evos with the rotation and finds themselves being shot at by PE Sports, who have a couple of containers to use as cover.
Yeah, PE Sports relatively safe, only for a few moments though. Secret WAG dropping right on top of their heads, but PE Sports deal with that threat very promptly. Bigotron by Vitality also succumb under the pressure. They only had 2 players remaining anyway. Evos Divine, look at that double elimination from Coastal. That Charge Buster doing God's work over here to keep Evos Divine alive. And he continues to plunder onto Vamos Esports as well. Vamos thought they had the advantage. They thought that they could go in for the full send right now, but Evos keeps them humble.
Nasty shot there from Kochu, the one tap, forcing Vamos to slow down. And guess what? PE Sports now have the chance to go for back-to-back booyah here. A big name!
Oh my lord!
June decimates the ranks of Evil's Divine. Zeus through the glue wall, looks for LBT, but Nero has a grenade launcher in hand. Juwan needs to go big right now. It's him and Zeus, who have been a dynamic duo the entire game for Team Vamos. Can they make the run happen? Vamos pull through! 27, big one here. Rough, but I won't put it past them. Falcons have done crazier things. That's how they won EWC 24. Now we're gonna hop into Nextera. Let's find out.
Their UAV just a couple of moments ago. But Mark My Sports Club still looking for Falcons to overextend, and this could finally be the opportunity. One-on-one offered by On Fire, but he wins that duel against Virus. Now Mark My Sports Club will have to find their way back towards the vending machine and hopefully get their teammate back. Meanwhile, back in Mudsight, you've got PE Sports versus Esports Putrajaya, which continues over here. Sichuan and LBT both winning out their individual duels.
Was doing, but you can't say the same for MBC because Falcons are hungry for some revenge, and Pina will get Winsy.
Oh my god, yeah, LF is so low on HP. Pina didn't even need to do much. 3 eliminations for Falcons already. And it seems like they did not really have to work too hard for it. They have a fair idea of where Jans could be. And he was just brought into the day after game number 3. So, yeah, after being substituted, it is quite a lot of responsibility that's on his shoulders. He thought he would be safe if he ducks underneath that underground tunnel. But hold on, there's a new contender. Bigatron have entered this fight. And Diggs He will be able to win the initial duel, but can he get the res onto his teammate Pyong right around the corner? Nah, he will not be able to do so. He gets the confirmation onto On Fire, but Pina, instead of forcing the issue, goes back towards the vending machine to get that res. Almost wins that duel, but Deeks finally takes... Bigitron, though, have quite... They've got quite the spread over here. They're kind of separated from each other. Meanwhile, back in the top of the map in Intellect Center, you've got Onyx Esports facing the same problems once again. They are so far away from each other. Oof. They basically can never back each other up. All these isolated duels, they were struggling with it in Kalahari as well, and those problems persist in Nextera too.
Man, what is happening? Okay, early on, they actually did get gunned down by Secret WAG. So unfortunately, Poom couldn't escape, even though he had the stealth bites. But still in the lobby for now. Falcons maybe will be in for another World of Hurt. They did get the full squad back. And they're actually itching for a fight. Oh! Pina backs off and causes On Fire to get knocked down. That is not the time to revive, man. Pina, you cannot do this. He ends up falling, and that's just a brutal collateral there for Falcons. BTR gets another 2.
Yeah, and it all started with Seabang getting that first knock, forcing Falcons to go for that res, which was
in a row. They haven't been able to get their feet off the ground. Evil's Divine runs into the full squad of BRU, so that's gonna be them losing another member. And BRU not out in the clear just yet. LBT finds a easy shot from the back to take out the captain. The rest of BRU, but then what was that shot? BRU in imminent danger as Twisted Minds now rush towards MBR.
Twisted Minds closing in the distance, and MBR have left Fantasy on this side of the road while the others escape. So he's kind of trapped in a 1v4 over here. His best hope is that they rush him one by one and offer individual duels, but Twisted Minds are better than that. He puts up the glue wall hoping to buy himself some time, but he just about escapes. Nah, Twisted Minds will not let him go. Diamond chasing him down. And there was another member of Twisted Minds who was also providing backup from afar. Right now, we won't have time to deal with that because Makna Esports Club are clashing against Secret WAG. They've got Shiryu down on the ground. The substitute not really making his impact as soon as he enters his first fight, but Tikwe, consistent as ever, gets the knock onto Olive. Hold on though, Jans might be able to make a difference. He goes out of the house once again. Winzy did not account for PLS1 to be around that corner. That's a second knock for PLS1. Hold on though, what on earth did Jans just pull off? I was counting on him to make a difference, and he did. It's now a 1v2. These guys have to fall back. PLS1, after doing some crazy damage onto Winzy and Aleph, has to now run away and somehow revive his team once again.
God dang, MEC able to stem the bleeding off of the heroics of Jans, like you pointed out, Crips, but man, PLS1 undetected the whole time. Jun, an initial shot onto Jonah, now takes the challenge. Jun, can he win this? There's a bit more, one more shot, we're gonna do the job. Jonah does not stand a chance, and Vamos doing a fantastic job. Jun will now try to hunt for more. The rest of Vamos trying to chase down BRU. UAV sent down. What was that, Jun? You're pulling up crazy shots today. So Vamos trying to chase down BRU. UAV sent down. What was that, Jun? You're pulling up crazy shots today.
It seems like he's really found his calling after that massive booyah in Kalahari. I think Vamos Esports will be unstoppable. And sometimes all you need is one big game to not only change the course of your entire tournament trajectory, but also the mental fortitude that you require to go up against a hard-hitting team like Buriram. Of course, if you give Moshi the high ground advantage, he is gonna gun you down, but Jun can instantly...
So CQC, they are gonna take it. And Falcons now up against EP.
Ooh, Falcons forcing a 2v4 battle. I hope that they don't bite off more than they can chew. Pina still very confident in chasing down Mikasa. Gets that knock. That Trogon in his hands, ever so deadly. Raja tries to get that revenge, but he's kind of trapped in between Pina and On Fire. Ryu jumps in to help him out, and finally On Fire goes down. But Pina is still alive and kicking, getting the confirmation onto Raja. Now trapped in a nearly impossible 1v2. Kenshin jumps into the cocoon of glue walls, hoping to win that duel, but Pina will get the best of him yet again. Pina on the verge of pulling off a 1v4.
North side, Secret WAG against EP. Ryu outnumbered right now, but puts up the glue wall. As Tikwe is on the hunt. Utilities dumped out. Ryu just needs a bit more to heal himself back up. Finds the time and space to do so. Raja comes in as a backup. And Tikwe will have to descend from the roof and regroup with the rest of the team. But Ngan finds an insane nade onto Ryu, and that's the opening the secret WAG needs.
They know that Raja is done for. They have no choice but to send Kenshin away, otherwise they risk eliminating the entire team. Meanwhile, Secret WAG firmly control the eastern end of the circle. Another team that could potentially clash with them later on is going to be P Esports, but they are also contributing to taking down Esports Putrajaya right now. Oh my lord. And LBT
Come on.
struggling to land that shot against Mikasa, but he wins the duel anyway without losing any of his HP. Force that issue against Magna Esports Club just yet. They will just have to be comfortable with letting them be in the same compound as them. Esports, decent shot, but I don't think they can confirm that elimination. Hold on though, Falcons in quite a lot of trouble.
Yeah, the Indonesians basically focus firing down the Falcons members. Por in one side, Pina on the other. Basically open ground under the lightning zone as well. This is the worst possible spot that Falcons can be in. Now he's gonna get picked back up by his teammates. And I don't see a way for Falcons to get out of this predicament. Even to the nearest vending machine is safeguarded by the Vietnamese, and Nan finds Por. And once more Falcons down to just Pina.
Oh, you said that, and Pina just managed to buy back On Fire and Liminex 7. Still, where will they land? There's not that many spots left in the zone. And they will have to make their way inside the circle as well. That is, if they can land on the ground, that is. WAG as well as MBR, both of them getting a little bit of these eliminations onto the Falcons members. Yeah, these birds, they will not be flying for that long. Now, Pina has to finish what he started. But Shiryu, the man who's just been brought in as the substitute, manages to put that final nail in the coffin. And that's the end of the Falcons for the time being. Wait, they were the first team to get eliminated? There's still 11 teams alive, Husky. Oh, this is going to be a very claustrophobic zone. They will have to leave eventually. They will have to run in tandem along with MBR to get inside the zone. And while they're fighting each other, you got Onyx Esports showering bullets at them from above. Even Twisted Minds are now targeting MBR. EVOS are just getting picked apart. They are the common target for every single team over here. Yeah, that's not a position you would want to find yourself in. Now Onyx finally turned their attention towards P Esports and WAG, but that's more than enough. The damage is done, and Bigatron get the last elimination onto MBR.
Yeah, this is about to be a free for all, a literal free fire zone right now. No chance there. It's P Esports with 15 and counting. What a day for this team. And Crime looks to put that to a stop. Lazzy on the Sichuan, trying to spray down the members of P Esports, but the reinforced glue walls keeps them safe for now. Medic gun deployed. P Esports back to cover.
5 teams eliminated in just less than 60 seconds. Yeah, I guess you can call the circle Thanos because it just shaved the number of people in the circle by half. Nice shot onto June. Bidep going down, but I think they can recover Bidep. Yep, instantly bringing them back. P Esports now looking to get inside this little compound. Vamos Esports hoping to squeeze them out. Bigatron Esports also knocking on the doors. Meanwhile, Onyx no longer have the angles to shoot down any of them, so it's just gonna be P Esports versus Bigatron. Nero and LBT doing God's work. Bidep also chimes in. It's all up to Deeks now, fighting for his life, fighting for the survival of his team, and he wins all the duels inside that time turner. He has just enough time to get the res onto Bigatron, but then they will be forced to leave that staircase and jump downstairs. And oh my god, the zone is doing so much damage. It's finally Sichuan who gets that last shot and eliminates BTR, but by the time he goes down, the zone has done most of the damage, and Vamos Esports eliminate P Esports.
Yeah, Vamos was able to sneak through earlier on, but it will now come under the scopes of Twisted Minds. But this is good news for Vamos in a way, because they are far away from where Twisted Minds and Onyx Olympus are at. And all Vamos needs to hope for is for Onyx Olympus to engage Twisted Minds, but that doesn't seem possible because Vamos being out there in the open with their glue walls is going to attract so much attention. They're going to redirect themselves. Riptide Ribbon coming out double on top of that, and that gives Crime the opportunity to take his 2S down. Axel comes in to try and bring his buddy back up and will be successful in doing so. Vamos are still hanging on.
Yeah, Vamos Esports using that tractor as well as the 2 monster trucks that they just brought down as cover. Their reinforced glue UAV was just destroyed, but now Onyx Esports will have to realize that Vamos Esports can no longer be shot at. They need to deal with Twisted Minds first, who pose a much greater threat to them as the circle starts to shift. Onyx once again not letting go of the high ground. Twisted Minds are directly under them. They've crossed that one house from the other, and I think Onyx will now have to drop down and instantly be ready to face Twisted Minds. They're ready to intercept them.
Vamos just needs to hold on a bit longer. just a bit more. The monster truck debris is gonna be used as quite the cover, but glue wall investments is gonna be paramount. They use quite a lot of it because of the double retire rhythm earlier on from Onyx Olympus, and with Twisted Minds hiding in the building, it's a matter of timing. Can Vamos find a blind spot here?
Oh, the circle being in the open. That road in the middle splits these two teams in half. And yeah, these monster trucks have also taken their fair share of damage. Onyx Esports finally make landfall. And
they go.
with both Vamos as well as Twisted Minds shooting at them, it's gonna be a field day for Onyx Esports. Can they survive this one? A member of Twisted Mind goes down. Vamos Esports get that knock, but they should be able to get the res once again. Onyx tried to close in the gap. Axel puts a bullet in Gidey's brain, and once again they try to use the glue wall to get the res onto him, but Axel will get that confirmation. 3v4v4. Vamos Esports are now getting pushed by Twisted Minds as well. They try to make their way towards the other side of the house, hoping to get some solid cover and closing the distance against Twisted Minds. And Vamos Esports somehow have made that rotation. Onyx not able to punish them in the transition. June almost jumps inside that little monster truck, but Jump will be able to get the knock onto Boom. And Onyx Esports are getting picked apart. Futra trapped in between 4 Twisted Mind players. That's the end of him.
This is good. Vamos might have a chance to do it again. It's them against Twisted Minds. Jump's gonna go down first. Vamos right in the center. Axel Suez. They all come together. Oh, Vamos doing it 2 times in a row, man. 2 back-to-back booyahs. Game 4 and 5. Team Vamos not only came alive, they
Let's jump into next era one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Last time we got a pretty nice plane path bisecting the map in half. This time, will the plane path throw us any surprises?
It was pretty
Went in for their opening battles. Mark 9 Sports Club was surprisingly able to hold their own in the initial skirmish in the previous map of Nextera, but this time they lose their members. However, Joanna might just be able to make a difference. He gets a double knock onto both Vinci as well as Aleph. He might just be able to make his way over to the other side of this glue wall and surprise Virus as well. They're both ready, staring daggers at each other with the TPP. Oh, Joanna finally gets that bleed out, and lovely shot connected, but Virus still survives. Oh my god, he pops open the stealth bite, only to go up against him at close range. Joanna finally sprays down Virus.
Okay, so Twisted Minds, they are able to gather some intel with a very short expedition. The intel that Ekal got is that he has Badep to deal with, playing with the Chrono Dome, Trogon in hand, and Ekal just has the better gun there with Aimgod's assistance. Badep gets wiped out.
Oh, meanwhile, back in Decker Square, you've got MBR versus Twisted Minds. Fancy about to face the boss. He jumps downstairs, the boss following him close. Diamond, however, will lose his duel as well. Oh my lord, this is going from bad to worse from their opponents, MBR.
An expedition, and ended up netting them 2 elims onto MBR, who will get that revive thanks to Bara's efforts. But and honestly, even for Jun, look at that. What a shot on the Ekal. Is there a conversion of Jun is out in the open? He is literally naked there. Will need backup from his teammates who are coming in. They might get intercepted by Evo as Jun gets a good info onto where Fight is. That was Jun! Almost made that happen, but Kochu sharper with that one. Juan will now get challenged because Jun will need some help. Unfortunately, it's a bit too late. Ekal finds Juan as well. And Evo's Divine responds adequately. Vamos will lose that fight.
Yeah, I love the way they saved Fez's life over there. Rochelle coming in for the rescue, getting that knock onto June just when Fez was about to go down. That turned the tide of this fight, but Zeus now takes down Ekal, and that could once again spell trouble. Fez will be able to snipe away the Axel for now, but hold on. Secret WAG are also contributing to this fight. They are taking down a couple of members of Vamos. Zeus walks around the other side of the vending machine, not realizing that Aimgod is right here. Oh, that's an unforced error right there.
Thank God it was needed to bring his teammates back. So Vamos are still in it, but again had to come at the cost of Zeus at the start of Nextera. Let's see, Vamos had played from ahead for 2 games in a row. Let's see how they can manage to play from behind. That is going to be the ultimate test to see how far a team can push the limits. Twisted Minds are definitely going to push theirs. The chase after Esports, the vehicle, Nero and Badep taking some shots. Bobin and Vimin, the bus sneaks one through, then let's narrow down. Badep decides to commit to a rescue mission here.
Yeah, has to commit that Chrono Shield over there as well. and they jump into the car once again. No! This time, that was a mistake. And as soon as they jump into the car, Jump will be able to take them down. Bidep now counting his lucky stars, hoping that he can survive this encounter, but there's just no escape. Jump will get the better of him yet again. And the finisher comes through rather stylishly. Twisted Minds up with 6 eliminations. Might be able to find MBR also.
His glue wall, but has to use the dome, a time turner, to bring his teammates back up on his feet. But it seems like this fight is inevitable. Secret WAG, they might be able to do a bit more damage to Evo's Divine, while looking to disengage but forced to engage against Secret WAG instead.
God has to burn that dash just to escape that nade. Not exactly the best possible scenario for him to be inside, and he still makes that run across, taking half the damage. But it's gonna be up to his teammates to somehow provide him cover, and they are nowhere to be seen. God loses his life, getting overwhelmed by the superior numbers of Secret WAG. Now Kusil also taking so much damage. Nice shot by PLS1, getting that knock. It just leaves Ekal in a corner over here. And he is kind of trapped between a rock and a hard place. He's got Secret WAG to his south, Twisted Minds to his north. The best thing that he can hope for right now is that they ignore him and end up fighting each other.
Yeah, Ekal is literally praying right now. Secret WAG will have to go through the high ground. They want to fight against Twisted Minds. That's Palsy in the wild. As they're covering as much ground as possible, Ekal ends up getting spotted. Can he get the revive? No, couldn't get it in time. Minds still able to build themselves out of this situation. Dropping right down is the boss. Let's have the Cassie with him and put that therapy, keeping him topped out in what would have usually gotten a knockdown there. Secret WAG all trapped in this very tight compound, quite claustrophobic. The glue wall prevents any sort of escape from the side entrance. So the doorway might be the undoing for Secret WAG. Exposy finding T-Quay will make it 10 times worse.
Yeah, T-Quay was hoping to find some angle onto a few unaware Twisted Mind members, but they are well aware about his flanks. They find Han as well. Shiryu making that crossing once again to the vending machine. I hope he doesn't meet the same fate that Evo's Divine did, but unfortunately, Twisted Minds repeat that all over again. They get a free elimination on the way inside. Okay, that's convenient. Biggitron, on the other hand, not that lucky. They already lost one more member, and now they have to lose Kyong as well. Biggitron reduced to just their last player. Seabank keeping the hope alive for his team will be found by June, and that's the end of Biggitron by Vitality.
June and the Axel.
Yeah, Jin and the Axel using that rock for cover will not be able to keep themselves safe. PLS1 lands the good shot against Jun, and Shiryu confirms that elimination. Secret WAG just got handed those 2 eliminations on a platter. Members of Vamos Esports will also have some safe spaces to land. Never mind, the moment I say that, Exposi and the boss pick them off mid-air. And this time, no more revives available for Vamos. Juan wins that duel against the boss, but will be quickly overwhelmed. Oh my lord! Jump finally comes through. And before anything else can go wrong for Twisted Minds, they deal with Vamos' threat promptly. No third booyah for them.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate there because, again, like I said, right, we both agreed that Vamos didn't need to go that far. And they ended up getting punished for spreading their numbers thin when they didn't have the best of start here. Out in 8th place, Popor and Peanut shows up, and that's Peace while losing 2 LBT, trying to salvage the situation, and now he's the only one left alive. Trying to use the glue wall to isolate the area, but unfortunately couldn't contain the ferocity of Falcons, and there goes PE. They are going to limit the compound to just one single entrance. Does BRU want to come in while Sana leads the charge right into it? As he is down to play, BRU are going to be separated by the amount of glue walls, but eventually they all fall.
Wow!
And BRU basically just blitz the compound and take it as their own.
Ketna's grenade launcher, Moshi with that double elimination with the AWM up close. Buridam putting on a clinic over here, and they eliminate Secret WAG. Now even MBR is gonna be trembling in their boots knowing that Buridam are their neighbors. Unruly neighbors, that too. Falcon are not able to get inside the compound, but I think they are more than comfortable staying out here in the open. Porpor providing cover fire from afar. Pina leading the charge, but I think he overextended over there. Gidey blows him apart with that grenade launcher, and that is Falcons losing their members left, right, and center. Even the Overwatch provider, Porpor, has been sniped away. Limit X7, having so many glue wall melters thrown at him, has to make that run across the open, while Rafaela will be able to steal that frag away from Onek.
Move and rotate to a safe spot.
Yeah, Onek is basically using MBR as their meat shields while everybody's distracted shooting at them. Onyx Esports make their escape. MBR and Buriram chasing each other on to the other side. Buriram separate away. MBR also going for a 2-2 split, but no knocks from either side just yet. They both are just prioritizing the zone over eliminating each other. Rafaela has to fight against Onyx Esports, but Boom is landing some lovely shots with that M82B. And oh my god, the Putra also makes his escape. Twisted Minds capitalizing on this chaos with both Onyx as well as Twisted Minds. These guys are on fire. Onyx Esports out. It's just Twisted Minds versus Buriram Esports. Getna and Vasana leading the charge. Vasana breaks the Bass's ankles by dashing across him. Till he turns 180 degrees and the Bass wins the fight with the M590. Lovely nade by Diamond. And he could be the undoing for Buriram Esports. Oh my lord though.
Moshi?
With Moshi still alive, they can't really count him out. Lovely shot connected. 1v2. Make it a 1v3 as they get that res once more.
Can Moshi pull off the highlight play again? It's gonna be very unlikely with the blue zone taking him out there. Twisted Minds with the booyah to close out the evening. 23 eliminations and 12 points. That's a big 35.